Today we are going to be having two sessions for the quarterfinals. But before we start the debate proper, let's take 1 minute and pray in our various ways. Amen. Once again, greetings, and I am Abdul Karim Sise, the Assistant Academic Secretary for the 8th Executive Council. Like I said in the beginning, today we are going to have two sessions of the debate for the quarterfinals, and the first session will be between the defending champions, which is Haryana, and the last year finalist, which is Gujarat. But before I hand over the baton to the judges, I would like to invite Mr. President to share a few words with us before we start the debate proper. So if we have Mr. President with us, please come in and share some word with the audience.
All right. Thank you so very much, Abdul Karim. Greetings, everyone, and good morning to those of you in the Gambia. Welcome back to another session of the GAM-IND Interstate Debate Championship. And today marks the quarterfinals and a very, very interesting session. So I believe this session, we can even call it a final, if you don't mind, because the first part will be having Haryana versus Gujarat. So Haryana have to prove themselves again that, look, we are the defending champions. And then Gujarat also have to prove that, look, we are here, to prove you people wrong that, Gujarat is the main team, as they have been making noise all around. So that is going to be interesting. So from there, you have Andhra and then Maharashtra. Last week, if you can remember very well, they both win their debates. So therefore, today one of them have to go down. So which team will go down? Therefore, it's gonna be interesting. Therefore, on that note, I'm wishing you all, a successful session, and I wish we all learn from it. Remember, there is no loser here. We are all winners. Whether Gujarat wins or Andhra wins or Haryana, it's GAM-IND that wins. It's Gambia that wins. Therefore, let's have that spirit. No matter what is written here by someone in Gujarat, don't take it personal. It's just to make it interesting, and that's it. So I wish you all a successful session. Thank you. Abdul Karim, back to you.
Thank you so very much, Mr. President, for those opening remarks. Sorry, Patty, can you please mute yourself, please? Okay. Like I said in the beginning, today we are having two sessions, and considering the time difference in the Gambia and India, and considering also today is Sunday, before wasting any time, I would just like to invite the judges to take over, and then we start the debate proper. So if Mr. Bide is set, I'm ready to hand over to you. Mr. Bide, over to you, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable, and thank you again for giving us heads up as to what we look or what we can anticipate from today's debate. Well, it's really exciting. You can call it a final if you wish to. I would call it that too. Without wasting much time, I would again tell the debaters what we are looking at for. I think it's getting boring now. I repeat this almost every week. So very quickly, content we'll be looking at, you'll be graded for content 10 marks. The time, that is conciseness, 5 marks. Be careful of over debating or under debating. It had its consequences on yesterday's results. Rebuttals is 7.5 marks. Voice is 5 marks. Logical presentation is 7.5 marks. The expression is 5 marks. Grammar is 5 marks. And POI is 5 marks. And again, if you're debating, be mindful of your screen. Yesterday we did not have any POIs, but we would have to look out for that today. So when you're debating, be mindful of the screens to see if someone is requesting for POI. So for the audience, please do not raise your hands while the debate is ongoing. It's only for the debaters to do that. Because if you raise your hand, you'll be confusing us, the judges, and the debaters as well. So please, you may reserve your comments until the debate is over. You'll have your you'll have the chance to express your thoughts and feelings as far as the debate is concerned. And with the timing, it's 7 minutes again. So I'll make sure I am accurate with the timing. So 7 minutes. Once you've introduced yourself for a minute, I'll clap to indicate that people can ask you I now. That is the protected time is over. And during the 6 minute, I'll clap again to indicate to the debater that you'll have to wait 1 minute. So once it reaches 7 minutes, I'll clap twice to indicate that your time is up. And I'll give you 15 seconds to wrap up with whatever you're doing. If you continue on speaking, it would have implications. So, but I'll advise once it is 7 minutes, you just cut it there. So that is all from me. I'll have to confirm if all the adjudicators are here before we start, please. Okay, they're not here. Mr. Chair, I'll plead we give them a minute to be here.
Yeah, you can
I'm sure they will be here.
you can try reaching out to them and see. We can give them two,
Right.
3 minutes.
Okay.
You guys in the comment section should take it easy. Oh. The debate is not yet started, and you guys started firing each other.
Wow. Haryana na yung duri. Welcome to Amgen. Watermelon boy.
Okay, so the motion before the house here is sorry, I am laughing at the. Okay, that is very, very important. So the motion before this house is this house will not allow the economic soldiers in the state house. This house will not allow the economic soldiers in the state house. So if the house is said, we would hear from the prime minister.
Can I start? Okay. Greetings, Honorable Speaker, panel of judges, and the opposition bench. My name is Lamarane A.B. Jallo, an able Prime Minister, and I stood today here in favor of the motion that this House will not allow economic soldiers in the State House. So before going further, Mr. Speaker, I would like to give you the structure of my debate. I would like to define the key terms of the debate, of the motion, justify it with facts and figures, and then I will proceed on my points, and from there I will summarize and conclude. So the key terms of this motion is allow economic soldiers in the state house. So when we talk about allow, we mean to give permission to someone or a group of people. So ECOMIC stands for ECOWAS mission in the Gambia, which was established in 2017, right? So a soldier is somebody or a person who serves in the army. And a state house, it is a building where state legislative meets and discuss. And this definition is according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary. So from there, I'll move on to my points. Mr. Speaker, my first point is preserving the national sovereignty. So allowing foreign troops like the economic soldiers stationed in the state house doesn't only undermines our sovereignty, but also creates an impression that the country cannot defend itself. We have a lot of soldiers in the Gambia who are capable and who are qualified to do this job. Why are we inviting these foreign troops to control one of the most important house in the country, right? So this could not just pose a threat to national security, but also weakens the government legitimacy and control over its key institutions, right? So this economic was created in 2017, and to, its job was to maintain peace and stability. And that was during when Jammeh refused to step down from power. So that era has ended now. They should leave because this is causing a national threat to our sovereignty. So to my second point is potential of foreign influence, right? With economic soldiers stationed at the state house, this can bring influence over decision making when it comes to the state house, right? So my third and final point is increased security risks. Having foreign troops in one of the most important house in the country can pose a threat such as spying, um, intelligence leaks, and disagreement between the local soldiers and the economic soldiers. So who knows in the future there might be a problem between, let's say, Gambia and Nigeria, or Gambia and Senegal, and all these economic states. And those people who are in the state house could leak this important information to their countries, and which could be used against us when it comes to conflict in the future. It also makes the it also makes the country more reliant on external protection, which could backfire in terms of conflict. So the Gambia, as we know, that it gains its independence in 18 February 1965. So we should not depend on other countries or an organization for our security. I think it is very important for us to have our own people, our own soldiers to be taking care of us when it comes to security. So on this note, I would like to, Mr. Speaker, I would like to summarize my points. So allowing economic soldiers will not only undermine our national sovereignty, but also pose a threat to our security, and then could also spark an influence, foreign influence in our nation, which is very bad. So in conclusion, allowing economic soldiers in the state poses a direct threat to our national sovereignty, open doors to unwanted foreign influence, and heighten the security risks. So the government should be able to control its, and it should be able to protect and control its citizen from intruders, rather than relying on an organization or a group of foreign people from outside to do these security protocols in our country. So on that note, I would like to thank you all for your kind attention.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister, for that. Please give us a minute to grade you.
Can I be able to start, please?
Oh, thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister. Opposition leader, if you're set, we are ready to hear from you.
The existing protocols of this House. I am Fatima Fadera, the opposition leader from mighty Gujarat State. Esteemed Speaker, let me give you the rundown of my debate. I'll start start by reminding the House of the motion. I will redefine some of the key terms, which was the sole responsibility of the Prime Minister, but since he failed to define some of the key terms, I will deem it necessary to do so. I will set my parameters. I would also love to refute, debunk, and refute the fallacies made by him. But since I don't know whether he was debating or he was just doing just a news narrating. I'll accept one POI throughout my debate structure. I will summarize and then after which I shall conclude. Strictly following the structure of my debate. The motion table reads, this House will not allow economic shoulders in the State House. I'll move on to the refining of the key terms. ECOMIC stands for the Economic Community of West African States, mission in the Gambia. It is a regional military intervention first developed by an economic community of West African states in the Gambia. The mission began in 2017 to enforce the outcome of Gambian presidential election, ensuring the transition of power from then President Yahya Jammeh to newly elected President Adama Barrow. Jammeh had initially refused to step down after losing the election, prompting the intervention to uphold democratic principles and stabilize the country. Since then, the ECOMIC has remained in the Gambia to assist in maintaining peace and security. Source, AU and UN reports on the peacemaking and security mission on West Africa. To my parameters, this House will allow the economic soldiers in the Gambia State House in as much as President Barrow remains in power. I will now move to the rebutting, the debunking, and the refuting of some of the fallacies made by the Prime Minister. So I don't know whether he was just debating or he was reading. When he came, what he made mention of our soldiers are meant to be good enough for them to protect the State House. So I don't know what he meant by that position that he said, but it's like he was just reading, doing news narration instead of debating. Moreover, I'll move to my tangible and irrefutable points. To give this a context, let us ask ourselves, why should the economic soldiers be allowed in the Gambia State House? Let us ask ourselves this question. First and foremost, ECOMIC is saving us economically as our manpower and resource utilization reduce drastically as they complete our efforts in patrolling and protecting our borderlines. Allowing economic soldiers in the State House in the State House can enhance security, which fosters economic growth. For instance, reported by the Standard newspaper, Tabara Bojang on the 10th of October 2024, headline over 200,000 tourists expected this season as a this season expected this first flight arrives 11th of October 2024. The detail reads, due to the security by the economic soldier, the Gambia has attracted investment and tourism benefiting the state economy. The Director General Abubakar Kamara has disclosed that over 232,000 tourists are expected to visit the Gambia season, which opens tomorrow with the arrival of the first tourist flight. According to DG Kamara, speaking at the government press conference yesterday, a total of 53 flights will be coming to the Banjul, the Gambia per week starting from November, including 33 scheduled flights and 24 chartered flights, thanks to the solid security provided by the ECOMIC soldiers. Unquote. So, the speaker, this translates that the presence of economic soldiers in the Gambia State House will serve as a source of income for not only the State House but the nation at large. To my second point, economic will provide the training and support to local security and forces. This is because the AU faith with how the managed State House bigger than that of the Gambia. For instance, reported by Kerfaku on the 5th of March 2019, General Usman Badi, a former chief of a Gambia armed force, has said that he prefers the West African troops to stay little longer. To the summary, since I don't have much time, the speaker, I came in, I defined I came before this house, reminded the house of the motion, defined the key terms, put house in order by setting widening the parameter, unrebuted some of the baseless points, give my tangible and irritable, which were economic growth, training and support local security sector reform and stability of the country. As the opposition leader, I hereby conclude, but before my conclusion, I will allow POI.
Terry, it's not time. The time for POI has elapsed already. You may please go ahead.
Thank you. As the opposition leader, I hereby conclude that this House will allow economic shoulders in the Gambia State House as far as President Barrow remains or stays in power. This will not only support the State House, but the entire Gambian population with economic stability, public safety, and social cohesion. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much, opposition leader, for that. Deputy Prime Minister, if you're set, we are ready to hear from you. And also, please turn on your mic so we could see, please. If you don't, we would not be able to make certain assessments. It would be based on speculation, and I'm sure you don't want that. So please, when you're debating, please turn on your mics. Sorry, your cameras. Thank you. Deputy Prime Minister.
esteemed members, and everyone duly and respectfully observed in this August meeting. Well, my name is Mohammed Jain, and I'm representing Haryana from the government bench. Mr. Speaker, I would like to give you the structure. I would like to give you the structure of my debate, which goes as follows. I would like to debunk first, then give my tangible points, finally conclude. Okay, sometimes I laugh the time I was listening to our opponents. She was making mention of transition of power. She made a very tangible reasons why the economic forces and soldiers are in Gambia. The economic forces were brought to the Gambia for the peaceful transition of power of the Jammeh regime. They were brought for the peaceful and coexistence of election, that is the 2016 election in the Gambia. Well, if that is your aim of coming to the Gambia, if the ECOWAS brought the economic forces to the Gambia and the aim was that, why do they extend their stay? Gambia is not at war. A country that is at war is what is expected to have such extension of stay. This will bring economic crisis. It will bring instability. It will also pose security threat to our national security. So that is why I was a little bit smiling the time I was listening to our opponent. She says that, sorry, the economic forces are there till the Barrow regime ends. Excuse me, young lady, this is not for Barrow, this is for the Gambia. The economic forces should not be brought for the interest of Barrow. No, it should be for the interest of the Gambian people. And we Gambians, we do not see no interest. What are they doing in our country? Nothing. Nothing. Going forward to my points, Honorable Speaker. My first point is economic complications and implications. Statistically, Gambia's GDP is going down day by day. The currency is going down. Economically, Gambia is going down. Politically, we are even going down. Socially, we are going down. How can economic soldiers help us? That's the question. Economic soldiers cannot help us. We have over 4,000 Gambian troops present in the Gambia. You cannot tell me those 4,000 Gambian troops cannot make the president's palace to be safe and to be peaceful. You cannot tell me that. And that promotes unity. That strengthens the Gambian bone. But imagine, instead of our own people guarding our own president, foreigners are guarding our own president. Just of recent, the principal protection of the president of the Gambia, called Job. Job stole 5,000 kg bag of rice. According to the West African news, it is stated. So, to me, it is even better for a Gambian person or for a Gambian soldier to steal it and let it stay in the Gambia, and the Gambian people consume that than the foreigners take our own resources and take it to their own country. Another thing is, before we take the resources, statistically, economic soldiers are paid $50. That is 3,500 Gambian dollars per day. And the Gambian soldiers are paid 3,500 Gambian dollars per month. Make the statistics. Conjoin things. It does not make sense. According to World Bank report, 8,500,000 Gambian dollars is spent per day to the economic forces. Do you think That amount of money is not sufficient to help the Gambian people. Do you think that cannot be spent in the agricultural sector? And do you think that would not help the Gambia to grow? And the next point, Honorable Speaker, is human rights violation. Economic forces have disturbed the Gambian people. Right now, if you go on the store to ask the Gambian people, they are tired. Many of our young ladies are being impregnated. The economic soldiers are rude. They don't have respect because there is no threat to them. Who will threaten them? What is the punishment to them? What? But at least, if at all it's our fellow Gambian, we can know how to execute our rights. But that is the problem of having foreign intervention in your country. That is the problem. It does not actually make sense. And it also, my third point is, it undermines the Gambian military. It shows that the Gambian military are not capable of executing their duties as expected. The bigger picture is embarrassing. Senegal, they are here. They are independent militarily. Nigeria, you name them, Ghana, Sierra Leone, they are independent. But come to Gambia, we are not independent. And unfortunately, our state house is being handled by foreigners. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, does not actually make sense for the economic forces to overstay in the Gambia. They have come to the Gambia, they have executed what they are supposed to execute, and that is for the election. It is over. They are expected to leave. We are tired of them. The resources that are spent on them, we are tired. Those resources can be spent on national development. It can be spent on economic development. It can be spent in agriculture. It can be spent in social development in many ways. Gambian can improve through these resources. This small disbursement, this small 8 millions, but Gambians are neglecting, and that's what is killing us, and that's what is degrading our economy. That's what is degrading our economy. Imagine that this money is taken and spent on agriculture. Right now, Gambia, we could have said another thing. We could have said another thing. We could have been another level in terms of agricultural development. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Deputy Prime Minister. Your time is up. Thank you. Kindly give us a minute for us to calculate the marks, the points for the Deputy Prime Minister, please. Thank you.
Okay, so that brings us to the final speaker of this debate. So if the House is set, or if the Deputy Opposition Leader is set, we will hear from you.
True security comes not from the number of weapons we possess, but it comes from the knowledge and expertise of those who wield them. Speaker of the House and honorable members, in my capacity as the Deputy Opposition Leader, I will commence by outlining the structure of my debate, which includes reminded the House of the tabled motion, rebuting the fallacies made by the government bench, strengthening the points made by my able Prime Minister, give my points, accept a POI at the 5th minute to enhance a well-explained presentation, give an alternative, and if time permits, I shall summarize, and in summary, I shall conclude. Following my structure, the motion put forward before this House says the House will not allow ECOMIC soldiers in the State House. I will move on to review the fallacies made by the government bench. The Deputy Prime Minister came on board talking about the ECOMIC soldiers raping, being rude. Here is not a talk show, it is a debate. You have to bring reference. Which newspaper reported that? We have never heard of that. It's, as I said, it's not a talk show, it's not a debate. It's a debate and it's based on facts. Kindly bring your facts when coming. You also talk about cost. Who asked the government or who has the person to give out the money? Because it is stated the cost of ECOMIC forces in the Gambia is primarily covered by ECOWAS. The Standard newspaper on February 10, 2022, Finance Minister MB Jai said ECOMIC was fully funded by ECOWAS. So what's the point of paying them? Yeah. The other point that they mention about is sovereignty. I would love to remind the government bench that sovereignty is not just about territorial control. It is about ensuring that the will of people is respected and democratic governance is upheld. And the ECOMIC coming into Gambia has no infringement of sovereignty, but an upholding of it. So let me get that into your head. Moving forward, I'll stress the points made by my opposition leader. My opposition leader set a very sensible parameter stating that the ECOMIC will be allowed in the State House of the Gambia as long as President Barrow stays in power. One of the points he made mention of is economic growth. We all know the positive impact ECOMIC has in the Gambia. The Gambian government not funding anything that has to deal with ECOMIC, but these officials do their shoppings personally and for their families in the Gambia, and this directly generates revenue in the Gambia. Also, from the Standard, reported by the Standard newspaper on June 20, 2023, the ECOMIC troops donate blood to Gambian hospital. Also, in October 18, 2024, it was reported by them that the ECOMIC breast cancer awareness, which is NBR, this states that they're not only contributing to the revenue of the country, but they're also improving the health-wise sector of the Gambia. The other points he made mention of was training and providing support to local security forces. This helps in creating unity and improve how well the military works by involving them in government, especially during emergencies. For instance, in a talk show called The Brunch by Lamin Cham on K5, Mr. Samsudin Sarr, former army commandant and a UN dependent, said the Senegalese military have been present in the Gambia from 1981 to 1989. After the coup, in quotes, he said, between 1981 and 1989, we have a massive Senegalese military present in this country after the coup, and we all loved it in the army. Why? Because we worked with them, and the Europeans funded it. We had a quota in that arrangement where we brought in our forces to join the Confederation and enjoy the luxuries and benefits like the Senegalese. This could be the same as the presence of the ECOMIC soldiers in the Gambia. Moving forward, he talked about security reform, highlighting that it would take Gambia a very long time to get over it. Again, Samsudin Sarr said, if the ECOWAS has the Sudan package within the ECOMIC arrangement, then there will not be any coup on the continent. So security reform is a process and not an event. Moving to the next phase of my debate, I will table my points to this House, one of which is expertise. The expertise of the ECOMIC is crucial as the government security reform lacks sophistication in citizen protection. Many military recruits are either dropouts or deportees who lack basic literacy skills, and solving conflicts efficiently requires security personnel to know about advanced weaponry. My opponent might argue that skill is not vital, but if had that been the case, then why are we going to school instead of venturing into practical fields? To be clear, the reality is theoretical knowledge is essential for practical application, and most Gambian soldiers lack the skills needed to protect the citizens compared to ECOMIC. For instance, in the alleged coup on the former president Yahya Jammeh on 30th December 2014, Gambia radio and television services reported the weapons used to invade him were unknown to Gambian soldiers and could only be operated by well-trained specialists. This highlights the vulnerability of Gambian soldiers who may only be exposed to basic firearms like AK-47s, leaving the nation exposed to threats. Moving forward, going by my structure, I will talk about my second point. We talk about protection bias. The main point is government security is biased, focusing more on protecting the president rather than the citizens, while the ECOMIC security forces have a fair protection for everyone. An example of this protection bias was shown in a viral video from December 5th, 2021, reported by the Gambian Talents TV during a political clash between United Democratic Party members and PIU officers. While in this viral video showed a PIU officer clearly intending to harm UDP members. This indicates that these people are mainly concerned with protecting the president and not the citizens. All citizens and all State House members deserve protection and security as much as the president does. Despite the misconception that economic gathering intelligence, but Honorable Speaker, they are more effective than local security forces who may not prioritize the country's best interests. Moving forward, I'll go on, according to my structure, I'll go on to give an alternative. Our alternative as an opposition bench reads. Our alternative as an opposition bench. No, POI cannot be accepted because this is the 6 minute and it's protected time. Please respect my debate. Our alternative as an opposition bench reads, we suggest that the government of the Gambia should let the Gambian army take part in international peacekeeping forces while believing in a middle ground that includes security actions while still respecting people's rights. Taking strong security steps is important for the country's well-being. In summary, I came before this House, reminded the House of the motion, rebutted the points of the government bench, give weight or strengthening the points of my opposition leader, give my own substantial points with my expertise and protection bias. I was expecting a POI in my 5th minute, as I stated in my structure, but since it wasn't asked, then I believe the government bench are quite convinced with what we came with. I went on giving an alternative, which was to make a balance between foreign troops, in this case, the ECOMIC soldiers and the Gambian military. Henceforth, I'd conclude that the ECOMIC soldiers are a legitimate and lawful presence to the Gambian security. Therefore, this House will allow ECOMIC soldiers in the Gambian State House as far as President Barrow remains in power. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, Deputy Opposition Leader. Just a minute while we grade you. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for that. So while we're working on totaling everything, I would advise that the next set get themselves prepared so we can start before allowing or hearing the inputs that every other person here has to say. So just a minute while we do that. And while we are doing that, I'll advise that the next set get themselves prepared.
Well, Mr. George, this is easy. Give us 90% and then give Haryana 10%. We don't have time. We have other things to do, Congratulations, the two.
Where is the chair? I think usually the floor is open for people to give their verdicts with regards to the concluded debate. Or is it a different trend as far as Gujarat is concerned?
So you want to talk?
Guys, you are not the judges. Please listen. Gujarat,
No.
opal ngeen torop waay.
We are not saying that. You know, like, you will have the
Gujarat, opal ngeen torop waay. Noppi leen, xaar leen rek. Buñ joxe ngeen xam ne loolu la.
Give floor to people to speak.
Gis ngeen xale yi nu ñëw jaaree. Non, No, we are just waiting for the judges. Let them just give us our 90%.
Wait for the judges.
Yeah, we are not
Now
here
we
for
can give them
noise.
12%.
Tombong, keep
With
quiet.
them.
You don't know
noise.
anything. You people are just
Soldier, you know,
speaking
soldier,
for
you
the
know how
sake
it
of
goes.
talking.
You were in the state house.
Let me
You were in the
let me
state house.
just
You know how it goes.
let me just come in and terminate all your points.
What are you terminating here? Fatuma will terminate you very soon. Take it easy, and you're this somewhere. You look like a security guard. Take it easy. Very soon I will send Farumata to come and terminate you. Have two Farumatas here. Wonder kids from Gujarat. All support from the Gambia. Do not worry. From here, I'm going to the ECOMIC commander's office, and then we will see how to incorporate you people as advisors in the ECOMIC forces. The two Fatumatas. Are you on the same page?
Okay, so it appears as if people want to share their inputs as far as the debate is concerned. So we would have 5 minutes for that while we get ourselves set for the next round. So if you have anything you want to share, you may indicate by raising your hand and express. Okay, Tombong Jabate, you may go on.
Thank you very much, Mr. George, Mr. Bite. I think I never met you before, but I used to be also a student in India there, and then we started this debate thing, and then the trend is continuing.
Sorry, guys, I had some internet issues. I could not even listen to the second participant from Gujarat. Yeah, I just realized it right now. Okay, whilst the judges take break, if you have anything to say regarding the topic, you can kindly raise your hand and I will call you in. You talk, please.
Yes, Abdul Karim, I was going on. I was speaking, then then you came. And
Okay,
then
okay.
unfortunately for you,
Then proceed, Mr. Kumbo.
Unfortunately for you, you lost something big. You lost Fatumata's face debate. That was a top notch. But anyway, congratulations to all debaters. To the judges, to the team, the whole Indian team. We are proud. As alumni in the Gambia here, the trend is continuing positively. And then I'm seeing a very positive approach from all the debaters. Sometimes this support could be harsh, but don't take it seriously. We are just a fan, and then we are a fan of Gujarat, and then we cannot play with our base. We cannot play with our state. So what is easier for the judges? What is easier for everybody? You don't have to do much calculation. Just give us our 100% and let us move on. Thank you very much, and I hope a fruitful discussion later. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Tombong, for those remarks. If we can have Manyiman, you have anything to say, please?
Okay, thank you, Abu Karim. It's almost time for the prayer as we have different prayer times here. I suggest, because if you start the next debate, some people might be late. My name is the dictator. Okay, whatsoever. Some people might be, the debate may took a longer time. So I suggest if the judge adjudicators can give 15 minutes to people, because in India, we all different states have different time to go and pray. That's the only thing I have. Thank you. I'm not a dictator though.
Okay, thank you so much. Your contribution is noted. Yeah. I think India is very diverse. So if you are in an area where there is time for Maghrib, I think you can just go in and pray and come back. Whilst for us in Gujarat here, it's not time for Maghrib. We can continue with our session here whilst the judges work on the results of the first session. Mr. Njai, can you please come in?
Thank you. Thank you very much for giving me the floor. Thank you, and then greetings to everyone here. Well, I'm just coming in for the topic because it's very interesting and a very concerning one. As you may see, all Gambian probably think there are surveys that are done. There are a lot of things that are talked about these issues. But I think one thing we need to understand is this has to do with some integrational issues, confederational issues. Gambia is not an exception to this. You have many countries that benefited from it. And Gambia is also participating in it in many countries, like sending peacekeepers to many parts of the world. So I don't think it's something that is very complex or that is very wrong to say so. Most importantly, that we are not spending a dime on them. So why do we have to worry? These are just support kind of a team. You know, how many support team do we have? Even in the education, we have teachers from Nigeria supporting. In the health sector, in all departments, people are supporting. Why is it so special that the soldiers don't need support? Why? So I don't think it's something that is very wrong in mindset that they are here. Once they are here, we are not secure. No, they are just giving additional support and, in fact, professional support, because we all know we cannot compete. Now we can comfortably say so, but during the impasse, I think everyone was caring about them. So them staying, protecting the country, and even more importantly, that is this attempted coup. Barras regime alone, you have 2 attempted coups. How would have been if there was only Gambian forces in the system? So I think the debate continues, but most importantly, what thing we need to know is the Zandam, like our debaters quote, since 1982, the Zandams were in the country helping. During the 81 coup, it's because of the Zandam that why it's spoiled. So, and so many things. We can be listing many of the things that definitely are beneficial to them, that they were serving, especially one of our debaters said, some of the extra activities that they are doing. How many activities are they involved in? Breast cancer issues, cleansing exercise, other donating issues. We have been watching the news. So what is wrong in them supporting? What is wrong? And in fact, why is it so special on the military? And we have it in the education, we have it in the health, we have it in all sectors. We are a developing country. You cannot stand alone. If someone is stopping you, supporting you, why wouldn't you embrace it and just work with the person and learn from the person? I believe that that is the way out here. Not to say no just because you want to say no, or you just want to say you're undermining your military. In fact, your military that you entrusted, we are the one part of these asteroids that were done in Jammeh's era. It's the same system that are there, causing more problem. In fact, the junglers there, are they not from the Gambian military? These are all people that were part of us and our brothers and our sisters and changed to be murderers or killers. So the debate continues, but I think it's important to understand the other sides too, that we are not spending a bullet on them and they're just serving and they're supporting. So thank you very much. That was my additional point. Over to you, bro.
Thank you so much, Mr. Njai, for those contributions. Over to you, Sajo Eki Jajo.
Okay.
All right. Am I quite audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you very much for giving me the floor. So as it stands, the motion before this House is that this House will not allow ECOMIC soldiers in the Gambia. In the State House. So as it stands, as far as debaters are concerned, we expect when they come on the ground to tell us which State House we're referring to. And we must give kudos to the opposition leader for putting the House to order, because she came before the House and told us that the State House we are talking about is actually the Gambia State House and not any other State House. So as it stands, I believe there is no more debate as far as this whole stuff is concerned. It is very, very clear. But then I'll give my own reservations as far as the said topic is concerned, because looking at it, it has cons and as well as pros. But then I think the positive side, which is actually the merits, outweighs that of the demerits. So essentially, just as Njai mentioned, when you look at our sectors, for instance, when you go to the UTG, I saw someone typed it here. In the UTG, you have 10 schools. And out of those 10 schools, you realize that 7 of the schools are headed by non-Gambians. So essentially, what is so special that about these foreign troops or the foreign soldiers? From time immemorial, from 1981, when some of us were not born, during the Kukwai Samba Sanyang coup stuff, you come to the realization that the Senegalese came to our rescue. And as a result, we were able to restore Jawara into power at some point. So aside that also, when you come to the 2016, that is when these, how do I put it, ECOMIC forces or ECOMIC soldiers came to the Gambia. And when they came to the Gambia, we all knew, at that time, we all celebrated them, we all wanted them. And then, like, the matter of the fact is, there is not much trust as far as our military is concerned, because we had seen some of our military soldiers going, when Jammeh was leaving at the airport, some of them crying. In fact, some of them went with him to Equatorial Guinea. So when they went with him, and eventually some of them came back at some point. So like, how do you expect us to trust those people when at some point, possibly they have had some plans onto how to topple the current president? So as the opposition stated, I think I'll go by them, saying in as much as President Barrow remains in power, because he's the one, it's because of him that we have the ECOMIC forces or the ECOMIC soldiers in the Gambia. We'll have no choice but to have the ECOMIC soldiers in our state house. And just as they mentioned, as far as our state house is concerned, it is the center of attraction for everything, because the administrative work and a whole host of others are done in the state house. So aside from like the state house, so if you come to this breast cancer awareness and a whole host of others, they start from the state house and eventually translate into the country. That is the general populace. The breast cancer awareness, providing support to certain people, especially on the aspects of health, trade, and a whole host of others. So there's a lot to deliver here. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I know I've said a lot.
Thank you so very much, Mr. SG, for those contributions. Over to you, Kumbaba. What is your contribution towards the topic today?
Thank you. Well, it's not Kumba, it's Fati.
Okay.
My gadget,
Mr. Fati,
my gadget went off, so that is
Okay.
why the Gujarat people were making much noise. Yeah. So thank you. I've heard what their previous coach said. Tombong. Tombong knows Haryana pretty much, and the whole of Gujarat knows Haryana. They are notorious of noise and coming up with unfounded claims. So first of all, let me start with one of their comrades, Mr. Njai, also my comrade. Mr. Njai, you mentioned that the economic soldiers being in the Gambia is of benefit to the Gambia. What benefit does it have for the Gambia? It is not sustainable in the first place. Something that is not sustainable, you shouldn't continue working on that. And the other thing is, economic being in the Gambia pose a lot of challenges for the Gambia, politically, economically, and socially. And when you are making your arguments, you come with proofs, evidence. You cannot just debunk without coming up with any evidence, any proof. It's cheap to talk. Yeah. Gambia's budget in terms of the military as of 2022, this is a World Bank report that was prepared by Stockholm International Research Institute. It's 0.7 million. That is the World Bank report. Gambia is 0.7. Mauritania is 1. Senegal is 1.6, and Mauritania is 2.3, which means Mauritania, Senegal, and even Chad, as small as Chad's military budget, is far higher than that of the Gambia. And imagine how much these economic soldiers are paid. And these economic soldiers are.
Sorry for interjecting, but do you know the capacity of the Senegalese military?
Please.
The Gambian army size is only 5,000 military personnel.
You see, wait.
Compared to
Yes.
2 million or 3 million personnel of Senegal.
Mr. Jobate,
please. 0.6 million is too.
Please, Mr. Jobate.
Yes.
Allow me to moderate this.
Karim, you see, that's what they are notorious of, making noise.
I want to start.
Let me finish my point.
Opinion on this.
Mr. Jobate, you can come
I want to leave Fatuma.
Mr. Jobate.
I want to leave Fatuma.
Come in later.
To deal with you guys. Don't let me come in. Do not let me come in.
Mr. Jobate, it's not fair because this what you are notorious of.
Let us just leave it at that. 0.6 million is a good budget, and then
what is how so Strambong, I expect much from you. You are at least a professional. When do you ever see judges scoring points based on support? It's based on facts. Last year, you've seen what happened. The judges are, brilliant. They know they have to score based on what the substance that debaters are agreeing on, the points, not by the number of noisemakers out there comfortable in their keyboards, sending emojis, sending messages. That doesn't define how the debate would be. I understand. I think you know, right? So listen, right? Let's talk about the facts. I was talking about the facts, so let's talk about the facts. Yeah. So the budget. Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Yes. So I was talking about the military budget. How much does a soldier earn? You need to trust your servicemen. Whatever, if the economic soldiers are doing one in the Gambia, the armed forces, the police, the immigration are doing 4 or 5. And one of your previous debaters talked about the tourists coming to the Gambia. So you talked about the number of flights that are coming, and how does that relate with the economic in the Gambia? The economic soldiers have no role in protecting those people that are coming to the Gambia. It is the responsibility of our immigration, the responsibility of our police and other security apparatus within the system, within the ecosystem. So those are baseless points. And if you are debunking, don't just debunk without any points. And also, if you come with points, they need to be reliable sources. There's one that said our security forces are not trusted. I mean,
Mr.
one
Fati,
of your.
sorry, Mr. Fati, please, can you please summarize a little bit, because I am getting signal from the judges that they are ready to start the next session.
All right, fine. Then let me stop here for now. There's a lot to debunk, but let me stop here for now. In the interest of time.
Allow me to land, please. Allow me to land. Let us, please. I am moderating this debate. Please, let us try to be professional in what we do.
Between me and Fati.
Okay, no problem. After this debate, I can organize another one for you. But
okay, now let's go to the judges. Okay, now let's go to the judges.
Okay.
Me and Fati, we
let
have
us
a
be
debate.
professional in what we do. If you want to share in your contribution, please, there is a raise hand button. You can just click on it, and I will let you in. Let us be professional, guys, please. Okay. So
No, it's okay. Now let's go to the judges.
With us, please.
Fati is playing a game. You don't understand, but I understand. I have to do
okay,
this so that I can
thank you so much, Mr. Jawade.
You don't understand. I know his games. You know, we are smart. Don't worry.
Over to you, Mr. Bide, please. Mr. Bide.
Yes, sir. A minute, please. A minute. Okay, thank you all for those brilliant contributions. They're very, very legit and relevant as far as what we are doing is concerned here. So I would reserve every comment that I have for now and bring them forth when we are giving our feedbacks before the announcement of the results. Probably that is if I have anything to say, because I believe most of the things are already emphasized, and I would not want to repeat what you've already said. So we would move on to the third session of the quarterfinals, and the motion before the House